Prayer is the single most powerful thing that you or I can ever do. But maybe you often feel that you're just not strong enough to pray. After all, we cannot hold back crime. We can't heal the sick. None of us can stop a pandemic or revive the economy. No earthly power could purify our souls or convert the lost. No human being could bring about such miracles. So why bother praying? Well, it's obvious because God is entirely capable. You see, heaven rules. God has all power and all authority. This is what I shared at the Wednesday evening prayer meeting. The theme of the book of Daniel is that heaven rules. Unsurprisingly, we first hear this theme on the lips of the prophet Daniel himself. Remember, Daniel was a young lad, exiled from his homeland, now a civil servant in the mighty Babylonian Empire. And he was faced with an impossible task. Nebuchadnezzar, the pagan emperor, wanted all his wise men, on pain of death, not just to interpret his dream, but to explain what the dream was. Well, Daniel and his friends spent the night praying to God. And when God revealed the dream's content and meaning, Daniel exclaims, "Praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are his." What's surprising is that three other great professions of faith now fall from the lips of someone else, from the pagan ruler Nebuchadnezzar himself. He's known as the King of Kings, but he falls flat on his face to say, "Surely your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of mysteries." But God isn't finished revealing his majesty to this pagan king. In chapter 3, God comes down to rescue 3 Jews from the fiery furnace into which the king had thrown them. And Nebuchadnezzar is astonished, and he declares, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. No other God can save in this way." Then in chapter 4, after a bout of severe mental illness, we read this. "At the end of that time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes towards heaven, and my sanity was restored. And then I praised the Most High. I honoured and glorified him who lives forever. His dominion is an eternal dominion. His kingdom endures from generation to generation. He does as he pleases with the powers of heaven and the peoples of the earth. No one can hold back his hand or say to him, 'What have you done?' I praise and exalt and glorify the King of heaven, because everything he does is right, and all his ways are just." So our God is the King of heaven. He's the highest authority, and he rescues. He's just, and he'll never be dethroned. What a multi-dimensional view of the sovereignty of the Most High God. Sadly, in chapter 5 of Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar's grandson Belshazzar refuses to acknowledge who the highest authority truly is. And before long, the writing is on the wall, literally. God takes his kingdom and gives it to a Mede named Darius. Now, although King Darius loves and respects Daniel, he gets duped into dispatching him into the lion's den. And yet he discovers Daniel alive the next morning, and he decrees this: "In every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed, his dominion will never end, and he rescues and saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. And not just from a den of lions, but a dynasty of lions too, from Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, and Darius. You see, no earthly power can rival the highest king of all. The living God is the supreme authority in all of time. And he is just, and he works wonders, and he loves to rescue. So this is why weak people can pray without giving up. Our petitions come before the highest and the wisest authority. So can I encourage you, rather than contracting your prayer life, resigned to the inert and sluggish state of affairs around you, get on your knees. With confidence, approach the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Pray for the impossible things, for the impossible people. Maybe pick 2 people outside your family that you can pray for daily. I've got a prayer list as a bookmark in my Bible. And very often the passage that I read each morning can easily become a prayer for each of those people on my list. So right now, why not write down the names of 2 people and use that slip as a bookmark? And you might slide it into Daniel chapter 2 and pray that those people also might declare, surely your God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings.